Today, we are going to eat, see, and do everything that we can in this city, and we're gonna do it with $20 or less. Here's your $20.
Thank you.
Got my $20. Let's go. The most bang for your buck is taking in all of the interesting history here in the Old City District. And it's probably my favorite place in Philadelphia because there is so much to see and it's all within a few blocks of each other. And if I had to choose a favorite thing, it might be Independence Hall. It was built in 1753 and originally served as the Pennsylvania State House. And it was also the capital of Pennsylvania until it moved to Lancaster in 1799, before later moving to Harrisburg.
And also it was a meeting place for delegates of the 13 original colonies during the Revolutionary War.
This is where both the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution were debated and adopted. You can tour the inside of the buildings. Right now they are only limiting 9 people in at a time every 15 minutes, so the lines can get pretty long. And it's also just best to check the National Parks website to see exactly what's open and what the hours are. Currently, you can tour the courtroom of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, as well as the Assembly Room. This is the room where the Declaration of Independence and the US Constitution were both signed. Right next door to Independence Hall is Congress Hall. This is where the US Capitol was from 1790 to 1800. And it's where both George Washington and John Adams were inaugurated. This is the history of our country, and it's all like right around here.
On the other side of Independence Hall is the Old City Hall, which used to be used by the Supreme Court. Just across the street from Independence Hall is one of the most iconic things you can visit here in Philadelphia, and that is the Liberty Bell.
I feel a little bit silly because I only just recently learned that the Liberty Bell actually sat in the tower of Independence Hall. I mean, duh, it makes sense. I never knew that. But it actually has lived a lot of places. They have moved it around a lot, and it even would go on tours across the country as late as the early 1900s. But now it sits here across from Independence Hall, where people can take it in all its glory and get the nice view of the hall in the background. In the same block is the site of the President's House. This is where the 3rd U.S. presidential mansion was located. It was occupied by both George Washington and John Adams. The site was actually demolished in, I think, 1832. The site is now an outdoor exhibit about slavery and tells the stories of the slaves who worked in the President's house. Although this is not the original Declaration House, that one was demolished in the 1800s. This is a reconstruction of the house that Thomas Jefferson lived in when he drafted the Declaration of Independence. It is free to get inside, like everything else we've seen so far today. However, they are not open yet, so we gotta move on. Behind me here is Christ Church, which is an Episcopal church that both George Washington and Benjamin Franklin went to, and I think Betsy Ross as well. The main building was completed in 1744, and they added the steeple in 1754. The grounds are just beautiful, which probably makes the farmers market that they run here in the spring, summer, and I think through late fall pretty fantastic. But right down the street is the Christ Church Burial Ground, which is where Benjamin Franklin and 4 other signers of the Declaration of Independence are buried.
They usually have guided tours, but currently you pay $5 and they give you a map and it's a self-guided tour.
Paid our $5 each, got our map, let's go explore. I'm so excited to actually be inside here because this section is, most of it is like walled off with the brick wall. There is a section that just has the open gate where you can see Ben Franklin's grave if you don't want to pay to get in. But it is a beautiful cemetery. It is so neat. I highly recommend paying the admission to get in. William Penn was planning Philadelphia, he laid out 5 public parks. The parks today are what I think give Old City such beauty and charm. And we're at what I think is one of the hippest ones, Franklin Square. I don't know, maybe I'm impartial to this park because it has the best mini golf I've ever seen. I mean, you get to putt-putt golf in what is essentially tiny versions of iconic Philadelphia landmarks. Can it get any better than that?
I don't know. That merry-go-round has a giant eagle on it and is maybe the most patriotic merry-go-round I've ever seen.
We also passed another amazing park this morning when we were walking from where we parked our car to Independence Hall, and that was Washington Square, which, oh yeah, we did pay for parking this morning, but because we used this app called ParkWiz and used a $10 coupon, we only paid $2 for parking. So, deals on deals on deals over here.
But that park's really cool too.
The park has a few monuments, one of which is behind me. It is the tomb of the unknown Revolutionary War soldier. And this place was also used as a burial ground in the 1700s, which is interesting for a park, but it is lovely here. Probably one of the most photographed places in Philadelphia is Elfress Alley, which is considered the oldest continuously inhabited street in America. The houses here were built between 1703 and 1836. And wow, I can see why it's a popular spot. It is beautiful. Although apparently Friday is trash day, so if you want those gorgeous photos without trash, then don't come on Friday. Okay, Carly, I need you to have a gorgeous girl pose on the street. Well, I think I got some pretty good dog photographs. And that's important, right? If you're a fan of the show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you may be a little sad to learn that most of it is actually filmed in LA. However, you can come to a bar here that is owned by Mac and Dee from the show, the real people, Rob McElhaney and Kaylin Olson. They actually are part owners of this bar called Mac's Tavern. There is also a Patty's that we passed earlier, but that has no affiliation with the show that I'm aware of.
We were thinking we might try and get a drink in there, but sadly it looks like it's not open.
Hey, it worked out because just around the corner from Mac's is this place called Old City Beer Garden, and it's pet friendly, so we can have a beer and chill with our dog, and we definitely needed a break. We just walked a few miles and we've been on our feet for several hours now, so I'm gonna chill out with some beers for a minute.
I got a Two Roads Peach Jam. It's got 100% real peaches in it.
Really?
Yeah, and hibiscus.
How do you like it?
It's pretty good.
Alright.
Kara got the Ohm Gang Project Cider Dry Cider.
My dry cider is quite good, but it's fairly dry, and as it turned out, Jeremy liked it better, and I'm kind of digging the peach jam, so we did a little swapperoo. That is a good peach jam.
We've got that Pennsylvania is one of those states where you have to order food with your drinks, so we got some Parmesan fries.
There are some pretty tasty fries, though.
They are pretty good.
Well, this has been just what I needed. We got some unexpected food, some great drinks, and they're playing good tunes like in sync right now. So I think we've rested and it's time to check out a few more spots before we leave Old City.
We've looped back around to almost back to Independence Hall, but there's a few buildings we haven't seen yet. One of them is the First Bank of the United States, which is this building behind me. It looks like it's currently being restored. It is not in its full glory right now, but it is the first bank of the United States, which, as the name implies, this was the US's first central bank. Alexander Hamilton is actually the one who proposed the bank, and it was chartered by Congress in 1791. this building was completed in 1797. I just keep thinking about how we know all these people who love Hamilton the musical, and how like you could come here and like reenact like the musical in the place that it takes place, basically, right? And I think actually we're standing outside of the Museum of the American Revolution, which I believe has like actual Alexander Hamilton like belongings and artifacts, so we could do the Hamilton tour. In the same block is Carpenter's Hall, which I skipped this the last time I was here, and I don't know if it's just like Carpenter's Hall doesn't sound that exciting, but let me tell you, so much history lives within those walls. While the Second Continental Congress met over Independence Hall between 1775 and 1783, the First Continental Congress met here at Carpenter's Hall over several weeks in 1774. They met here after the British Navy blocked the Boston Harbor in response to the Boston Tea Party. So basically, this is where they met and they said, no, screw you guys, we're making America. Right?
Yes, those famous American words, screw you guys. While not as intricately designed maybe as the first bank, at least the second bank is not under construction. The second bank was founded in 1816, and this building was completed in 1824.
We have looped back around and made it back to Independence Hall, where we started today. And man, this actually was like 6 or 7 hours. It took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. We had a few other things planned. I don't think we'll get to see all of them, but there's one very important one I want to go to, because the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he was from West Philadelphia, born and raised. Let's go check that out, right? I'm on my way to the basketball court from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I don't want to linger because there's kids playing basketball, but it's so cool to see this in person. That was amazing. Do you think that those kids even know that that's the basketball court from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Should I have told them? Should I have been like, you guys know this, right? I don't know. We've got to see the Rocky Steps before we leave. That's like one of the best things you can do in Philadelphia, is see those like iconic movie locations.
Wow, we managed to both stay under $20 today, which is a surprise for us, but not as much of a surprise when you consider all of the amazing things that you can do for free in Philly. But hey, I will put this one in the category of challenge accomplished.